The Minister of Water and Sanitation, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, has met with Gauteng and Free State municipalities that discharge wastewater into the Vaal River up to the Vaal Barrage today in Vanderbijlpark. This is part of efforts to address water quality and invasive alien aquatic species in the Vaal River to ensure healthy rivers. Joining us to discuss today's engagements is Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, Mr. David Mahlobo. Good evening, Deputy Minister, and thank you very much for your time. The Ministry has been very busy this week. You inspected the Vaal wastewater treatment works, and now you attended to the issues pertaining to the Vaal River. Let's start with just today's session with municipalities on the discharging of the wastewater into the Vaal River. What came out of that meeting?
No, thank you very much, Wendo, and to your viewers. Today we visited the Vaal Barrage. One of the things that has happened is that the Vaal Barrage is an area that is covering about 900 hectares. Around October, November last year, an incident happened wherein an invasive species, which is a water lettuce, is now found in that particular space. And it grew very fast. It was in such a way that around February, it was running at 173 hectares. Ultimately, we deployed rainwater to come in quickly to try to assist the communities and the municipality to remove it, because it has a huge impact on the availability of water, on the aquatic life, including also the businesses that are there. And then ultimately, the chemical that it was deployed by rainwater, which is a glycophosphate-based solution, was not authorized in terms of being used for the water lettuce. Then there was a discussion between ministers of water and environment. Ultimately, now they are finalizing the issues of authorization. When we met with the municipalities today, was to say rainwater is going back to them. There are communities and business working there to remove the hyacinths that are there. Because today, the time where they are covering now 21.5%, which is close to 300 hectares. And there's a high possibility that it will be removed. But when it is being removed, that will not be sufficient, because the pollution that comes into the river, especially the untreated effluent, that upper valve system, it received about 1,400 megaliters of water per day. In other words, we have about 1.4 billion liters that are coming in. We're to agree with these municipalities to say, one, they must stop the pollution, and we must put a spotlight on in other words, their treatment system and their wastewater system must stop discharging that, because even if you remove these hyacinths or the lettuce, but as long as you don't address the problem at the source, is one of the important aspects. But we then also said, Mfundo, that we have to involve stakeholders. We are establishing an committee that is inclusive, an anti-pollution water forum. That will start in Mpumalanga, because you know the Vaal system is starting in Ermelo in Msugalikwa until actually in the Northern Cape before it discharges water into our neighboring country, which is Namibia. And then we'll have the experts, the universities, the experts, the NGO, business, local government, and all others, so that we can have a comprehensive plan in dealing with these particular issues. The last
Speaking of plan, okay, you can continue, Deputy Minister.
The last point is to be very decisive, that polluters must pay. In other words, the government must be able to invoke the water licenses that they've given. An example, one municipality in Mpumalanga, which is governing Pegi, over the last few days, a court has ordered them and fined them 200 million rand, which is 50 million that is suspended. The very same thing when it comes to Ermelo, Msugalikwa, Likwa, and including these municipalities here in Gauteng, because someone must be able to do cost recovery. Government now must be using its own money to be removing these hyacinths and lettuce, while the polluters, they can get scot-free. And our decision is that we must be decisive to make them to pay.
We understand that the municipalities were expected to present their plans to stop the discharging of this wastewater. Were those plans satisfactory?
The plans that these municipalities are presenting, we have looked at them because, remember, we produced the green drop, the blue drop, and the no drop report. We are evaluating them, but for this concrete plan to redress the problems of the Vaal system, especially around the barrage, we have given these municipalities that within a period of 2 weeks, we'll be in a position to come back to say, what are we going to do to ensure that there is a prevention, there is early warning system, the infrastructure is attended to, while at the very same time we allow rainwater to proceed with the restoration and rehabilitation of the affected space. But in as much as we might do that point, we must address that one. But at the very same time, you have Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, and Tshwane, including Mohale City, that are polluting when you go to the Harfi system. We'll be meeting them within a space of a week so that we can actually meet physically and say, what are they doing? Because themselves are the biggest contributors in the Vaal system, let alone in the RTPS system, where their contribution is more than 500 million liters that they're discharging in the RTPS port dam within a day.
Then to Rooiwal, the minister committed that clean water will start flowing by September in Hammanskraal. Is there absolutely nothing that can stand in the way of this? Because he made a commitment to the Verulam community in eThekwini. We've been reporting on this, but the deadline was not met. And he went on to state to that community that he made that commitment on the strength of the municipality's high-level brief to him. So in this instance, he has come out again as the minister. It's a different sphere of government, and he has committed that Hammanskraal will have water. Is there nothing that will stand in the way where even in the community of Hammanskraal, he'll come back and say, listen, I made the commitment on the strength of what the municipality, this is your local municipality, it's local government, they told me this.
Nomfundo, we should appreciate that infrastructure rollout in South Africa, there are risks. There are always inherent risks, but it does not necessarily mean that you mustn't put a deadline. One of the reasons why you could see there were delays before is that there was a planning issue. There was an issue to find the resources. To build a magnitude of a package plant of 50 megaliters a day is going to be one of the biggest in South Africa. It has never happened before. That's why Mahali's Water, our own entity, took long to conclude the procurement. When we went there, we knew now that at least Mahali's has started. We've spoken to communities to work with us because normally matters like issues of procurement opportunities, this business forum coming into disrupt. If everything goes according to plan, our intention is that the first 12.5 megaliters will be made available by September, and then the additional 12.5, which makes it 25 megaliters, will be available by the end of November. Then ultimately 50 megaliters should be given to those communities, while at the same time, they need to work on the infrastructure in the municipality because they must connect to the existing infrastructure, clean the network and the reservoirs, because currently the reservoirs are contaminated with the issues of microbiological issues and chemical component that you can still find in the pipelines that are supplying some parts of Hammanskraal on the basis that the water from tender plant is not fit for use.
All right. Deputy Minister, thank you very much for your time. We'll certainly come there come September and visit the community of Hammanskraal to see what has happened. Thank you very much for your time this evening. That was Water and Sanitation Deputy Minister David Mahlobo.